Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I have some more news updates for you about survival. And if you guys want to happen to find out more about that, I have it linked all down in the description below. Feel free to check that out if you like. And for all my newest subscribers, for those of you who are very new to my channel, I definitely want to thank each and every single one of you as well for supporting the channel and also being a part of my live stream. Anyway, without further ado, before we dive into this information, I just definitely want to give a very big special shout out to all my newest subscribers. So, anyway, back to where I was originally going to be heading with this. Okay, I did make a video Thursday. So, for those of you who actually missed it, you, if you guys want to take a look at that, you guys can go back to my previous video. Um, and for today, it's pretty much the same video, but I got some more stuff to add on to that. So anyway, here's all right, here's the thing, guys. So I did talk about using a can, an empty can. Once you dry it out, you can actually take a roll of toilet paper, make a V shape out of it, and push that down into the can. And also pour, you can use anywhere from 50 grain or 50% alcohol, rubbing alcohol that is, all the way up to 90 something grain, all the way up to 90 grain. And you can light that and keep your tent or shelter or wherever you're at nice and warm. But here's another thing. If you guys actually have some type of or something, this is also going to be very beneficial as well. If you guys are able to heat up, well, because if you can heat up, if you can heat up coffee in a coffee maker from a coffee maker, you can pretty much do the same thing with an empty jar. You can fill that up with liquid, let it actually get nice and warm, but be very careful. Make sure that you actually have a fire or a heat resistant glove. You can try not to get the jar too hot because it could possibly potentially crack. But that would actually take some time. Anyway, basically what I wanted to tell you guys is if you actually have a pair of boots or something and you're in the woods and it's in the middle of wintertime, you can actually take hand warmers, open them up, wait until they get nice and warm, push those down to the bottom to where your toes are actually sitting to your boots, line all that up with hand warmers. And if you guys definitely really want to, you can take a jar that's nice and warm. I do have coffee, by the way. Um, you can take a warm jar and put that warm jar down and slide those down inside of your boots. So then, therefore, when you do happen to go to put your boots on, if you need to, you can remove everything, all the contents from inside the boots out, slide them on, and your feet are definitely going to stay warm. So anyway, hey sis, how you doing? Um, hold that thought. I did tell you guys that I do have coffee. I just haven't had a chance to pour it into my other jar yet. So hold that thought for just a moment. And if you guys are wondering exactly who this video is sponsored by, it's sponsored by me, myself, and I. Yes, all three of them. So anyway, with that being said, guys, there's a lot of things that you can actually do. Oh, that's the wrong one. So if you guys definitely want to keep your feet warm, I strongly do make that recommendation of doing everything. And yes, when I did tell you guys they do have coffee, I have my coffee. Premium, also unleaded. Very good. And this is also military grade for those of you who don't know. So like I said, guys, if you're looking to find out exactly more information about who I learned this from, I have it all linked in the description below. Feel free to check it out any given time that you like. You guys are also more than welcome to join the chats if you like. I do have my live chats open for everybody who would like to participate. But then again, nobody's obligated if they don't want. If they choose not to join the live chats, that's fine. But if most of this information that I do actually give to you guys are if you find it very useful, let's go ahead and get this live stream a thumbs up, smash that heart button, and for those of you who haven't yet subscribed, you can also subscribe for more content here on the channel. So therefore, you won't miss. And oh, one more thing, I forgot to mention something. Turn on your bell notifications after you subscribe, so therefore you won't miss news here on the channel. With that being said, I want to thank you guys for that. Anyway, moving on to further news. There has also been there's an incident right now going on with fast food chains. So if you guys go to fast food restaurants and you're ordering beef, be really careful of that, because there's 1.8 million pounds of beef that has actually, I'm pretty sure this is going to be recalled soon. Or at least I would hope so, because the beef has actually been contaminated with salmonella, for those of you who don't know. So be very cautious about that and use your own discretion. So this is also not only a survival, but this is also a PSA, public service announcement. So for those of you who don't know, now you do. Anyway, moving on to more topics. You can pretty much use just about anything that's basically a heating element. And also, one more thing. If you guys are out and about and you don't have timber or anything, and say, for instance, if it's kind of somewhat damp outside, here's another tip for you. You guys can actually use Pringles or Doritos to pour into one big pile. I'm not talking about let's go out and buy up half the store of chips, guys. This is what I'm insinuating. But you can actually take you can actually get a bag of Doritos or a big can of, or you get a can of Pringles, crush those up, and then pour them into one big pile. And you can actually take your lighter like this, strike it, and that will actually, believe it or not, those will actually start a fire. And again, as a simple legal disclaimer, I'm not responsible for anything outside of this YouTube live stream, so I bear no responsibility for that. So, and also, if you guys are wondering if this is a family-friendly video, it is not for kids. So, there you have it. So, yeah, that is actually a proven fact. You can use Pringles or Doritos to start your fires with. If you don't have any access to rubbing alcohol, you can actually use Pringles or Doritos. Either one of those is perfectly fine, because if you guys want to go take that outside and test that out for yourselves, you'll be amazed. You will definitely be surprised. I will promise you that, because there are other YouTube videos out here that I have actually seen in the past, and that has been confirmed. And replying back to your comment that you made down below, fantastic. And also one more thing, guys. I do have moderators on here. So if there's any type of vulgar remarks or anything like that, I will be subject to remove those comments. The first time, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt, time you out for 15 minutes. And for those of you who are joining in, also spamming of the comments, let's not do that here, guys. We're just here to have fun, kick back, relax, and enjoy the live stream. So, I digress. So, does anybody out here have any questions, comments, or concerns, or anything that they would like to add to the chats? If so, like I said, my live chats are open to anybody who would like to participate. I mean, there is no specific obligations, but if you do have comments or something that you would like to add, let's try to keep everything professional. And also be respectful to not only myself, but also be respectful to my moderators and all of my other viewers out here as well. That's the only thing I ask. Other than that, I really don't have any problems with anybody participating in a live stream. Excuse me. Hey, sis, do you have any questions that you would like to ask? Oh, I forgot to pin my comment to the very top of the chats. So here we go. I'm doing that now. But anyway, guys, like I said, if you don't have access to rubbing alcohol, you can use 50 grain. You can use 50% alcohol. You can use 90%. But just be very careful because when you do set up your shelter, your tent, or whatever, do make sure that it is on even ground. So therefore, the contents inside doesn't shift, doesn't spill, doesn't fall over and cause a massive fire. Fantastic. As a matter of fact, it is a proven fact. If you get a Dorito, you can actually light one tip, and you can actually and believe it or not, it will actually burn because the oil that it's basically cooked in. And one more thing for you guys as well. Be careful of vegetable. Well, this stuff that they call vegetable oil is not exactly vegetable oil. That is actually seed extract. Because what they do is they heat the seeds up to a very high temperature and they're pressed. But there's a screen at the bottom to catch any type of debris. But then again, it goes through a filtration process afterwards. So, and it has been a proven study that seed extract oils are basically the seed extract oils are basically known to activate all the cancerous cells in your body. Basically what I'm getting at. Because there is no such thing as vegetable oil, guys. It's all seed extract. And a lot of your seed extract oils are very toxic to the human body. So you know. And how I know this is because I've actually researched it. I looked it up and found out a lot of things. So yeah, it's pretty interesting. So but anyway, like I said, guys, if this video does in fact help you out, if you guys do happen to learn quite a bit from these live streams, like I said, feel free to hit that thumbs up if you like the video. Smash that subscribe button. Turn on your bell notifications so you won't miss news here on the channel. Anyway, so yes, that has actually been a 100% proven fact that you can actually start a fire using chips. There's other videos out there on YouTube that will actually show you the same thing as well. I've seen them myself. So that was kind of a science. It's kind of like a little bit of a science experiment, if you know what I mean. But yeah, make sure that if you do something like that, make sure that you're in a very isolated area. Make sure that there's no wind blowing or anything, because some of that can send off little sparks. So just be careful if you do happen to try this little experiment. So that's the only thing that I can suggest. But yeah, you'd definitely be surprised, guys. And if you guys are looking to purify water to get it clean, start with a water bottle, kind of something like this. Well, we tighten up the lid, make sure it's on nice and tight. Make sure that you have a bottle like this. You turn it upside down, cut the top of it off, put your little sock on the bottom, or like a t-shirt or something. Put your sand at the bottom, and then put your bigger rocks. Get them progressively a little bit bigger at a time. So then you have all your big stuff at the top, and then you have your granulated sand all at the bottom, especially down here towards the spout. Then you could just basically pour that water right into the top of here after you done remove the whole entire top. Like I said, if you have something like this here, look inside that little groove right there. Can you see this, guys? Right where my finger is, you can actually take a like a little saw, cut all that stuff off the top, and then just peel this piece off. So you want your big stuff at the very top. You don't want to put it at the very, because if you do that the wrong way, that water will actually come back with cut off and put that right on there. And you can actually use a zip tie to pull that back and hold it on. Make sure it's on there really nice and tight. And so how you want to go about doing that is see this little gap right here? There's where you want your zip tie to sit. But you definitely want to have like a little overlap. So then when you do that, you can take your little overlap and you can basically trim all that down closest to the zip tie that would fit right here in this little groove. See that, guys? Where my finger is compared to where that bottom opening section is. That's where you want your zip tie to sit. And you can basically rinse and repeat the whole entire step over and over and over. So once that water comes out and you transfer it to like another container, be sure to take that container and pour that into a pot over some boiling. Make sure that you boil all that water to kill any type of microbials that could be inside of that water. Even though you may think that water is clean, there's still microscopic microbials that are inside of that water that could also potentially make you very sick. So if you're going to drink something like that, guys, make sure that you boil all that water when you start the filtration system. Make sure that you boil that water when after the fact you filter it. So that basically gets rid of all the other contaminants that were in that water at one point in time. So when you boil it, let that water cool off to about room temp. But also make sure that you have multiple bottles, have at least one or two for pots with you. So then you'll have one towards one's for boiling, and then you could just set that one off to the side, and your clean water, you're going to pour it into the other pot. So just make sure you know exactly what you're doing when you do something like that. And I'll tell you the best type of stone for your bigger debris, or not your bigger debris, but your bigger stones that you put in there, use sandstone. Because sandstone will actually also help with the filtration. Sandstone, I'm sorry, limestone. Sorry. Use limestone. So that's what you'd want to have sitting at the very top. So if you guys have any questions that you'd like to ask me, or if there's something you think that I may have left out, by all means, feel free to jump in the chats. Feel free to interact. Oh, sorry, guys. I'm kind of readjusting my cords here. Oh, excuse me. So hopefully all that information right there does in fact help you guys out. And, you know, before you start the filtration system, make sure that you rinse off the rocks first. Then just make sure that they're completely dry before you put those into that container. Because you may not realize this, but also with the chemtrails and everything like that, make sure that you rinse all those rocks off. So then therefore that there will be less likely possibilities of contaminants in that water as well. So do you guys have any questions or anything pertaining to what I have mentioned? If so, leave it up here in the chats, guys. So this is basically a survival 101. And this is a part 2 to my previous video. And in case you guys have no idea, for those of you who are very new to my channel and you're not exactly sure when I go live, I usually do my live streams Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays Eastern Standard Time. And the time frame is from 8 o'clock p.m. to 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So hopefully that kind of sums it up for you guys. But when you do turn on your bell notifications, be sure to keep an eye out for my live streams. So if you see something that says upcoming, that will basically give you an indication that I'm getting ready to go live. So I also do gaming. I also do a lot of gaming details for like new game releases and stuff like that. So I haven't got a chance to check out any of the newest releases, basically what dropped. And as far as I know, not gonna think about it. Farmers Dynasty 2 is last I know, or last I knew is still pending release, but they say it's supposed to be out sometime this year. That could possibly be as late as December, unless there's been a significant unless there's been something that may have happened during the beta testing. Because you got two different stages of beta testing. You got the first beta test, then you got the secondary beta test. And when the game drops, and if there's still any type of glitches or anything in the system, you guys can notify the devs. And what they will do is they will basically go back and correct that with a patch note update. So hopefully that right there takes care of all the bugs and everything. So hopefully that, when they do a patch note update, that basically does eliminate all the bugs and all that stuff. So that basically creates a bug fix and stuff like that. So if something drops through the map, when you go to drop something down, it just won't right through the map. Because there are certain collision points that haven't yet been, I wouldn't say perfected, but hasn't been, well, I guess in a way, I guess you could probably say perfected, but I really don't like to use that perfectionist, or perfection. Me personally, my opinion, that's just a waste of space in the dictionary. Just too much added space. It's already been, yeah. So I digress. Explain about warmer pack for camping. Okay, and you're basically wanting to set up like some, I don't know. There's like several different things. Now, what do you mean by a warmer pack for camping? Like different type of clothing or something, or bathing suit or whatever for like swimming? That's what I mean by be a little bit more specific. I know you're probably typing, but and just to let you guys know, I am keeping my eyes on the chat. So if I don't answer your question right away, just bear with me for a moment, and I'll try to get to your question as quick as I can. Just like I just answered this last one, I'm going to go ahead and pin this one to the top as well. Okay, wait, what the hell just happened here? Okay. Survival pack. Okay, make sure that you have something. Okay, when you gotta set up your camping pack, always make sure that you have a canteen. Always make sure that you have a compass, GPS, and other stuff like that. But if you're not sure, basically run a stick into the ground, and certain times of the day, you can actually look at your, like, do this every hour, and then you can just basically draw your little clock on the ground. So then, therefore, When that shadow rotates around that stick, you'll even be able to tell what time it is. Now, if you're actually if you don't have a compass on you on hand, always look for where the sun rises, because the sun will rise towards the east and the sun will set off to the west. So if the sun is setting towards your right shoulder, that means you're facing south. If you're facing the direction that the sun is rising, you're facing east. Now, if you're facing the direction to where the sun is dropping, you're facing west. And if the sun is dropping to your left shoulder, then you're facing north. Always keep that in mind, guys. If you're out camping, always keep that in mind. Also, emergency kit. Okay, say for instance, if you're out and about and some one of your other partners are out there, they slip, fall, they injure. I don't wish this on anybody, but just saying, if somebody slips, falls, or they are basically trying to climb down off a cliff, they fall, they break their leg, put something up underneath their leg, and then you just grab some rope. You grab like a stick, and I'm not talking some just ordinary stick or something. You grab a stick, you put a stick on one side, or the back part of their leg. Like, okay, see how my finger's bent? You put a stick right there, and then you put a stick on the front, and then you just run some rope. You have them hold that stick right there. You don't want them to move their broken leg, because for one, they're not going to be able to move it. Two, if they do try to move a broken leg, they're going to do more internal damage that could also be potentially life threatening. So always make sure that you keep their broken leg mobilized. So you want to put something solid right there on the back and something on the front. So then therefore they won't be able to move that broken leg. And what you'll do is you'll take their arm, put it over yours, and you don't want to have them hop, but what you want to do is you want to have your arm like this, grab it here. Hang on a second. Let me back up a little bit more so you guys will actually be able to see what I'm doing here. So what you want to do is you want to have your arm down like this. You want to grab here and then have somebody else's arm there, grab here. And so basically what you want to do is you want to create that little box in the middle. And then you want to have them sit right there on that box. So as you're picking them up and their leg is actually straight, it's less likely possible that they would do any more potential damage to that broken leg. So then therefore, you're actually creating a buddy seat for them. So once they sit on that, you guys can actually use your strength and kind of pick them up and move them from one spot to the next. Try not to overexert yourself, because that can cause a potential issue. But if in fact they're laying down, always make sure that their legs are propped up and do it very cautiously. You don't want to irritate that broken bone, because that broken bone can actually go right across the nerve. It could probably sever the nerve, or it could probably damage that nerve. So that's always something that you definitely want to keep an eye on. And one more thing, and what I mean by life threatening is because you got veins and you got arteries inside your leg too. You got the femoral artery, which is actually no bigger than the size of a pencil. And if that artery gets nicked, that's not good, because that person could potentially bleed out over a period of not minutes, but seconds, depending on how severe the nick is. Now, if it's really bad, then probably not even 3 minutes. So do keep that in mind. So if you grab like some really big, now, I'm not talking about go out and grab a couple tree branches to immobilize their leg. No, it's not what I'm saying. You can grab a stick probably about no bigger than that right there. Put one behind their leg, make sure their leg is straightened out. And you want to put that behind their knee. And then you want to put one in front of their knee. You want to tie it down, but don't tie it down extremely tight because that right there can actually cut off blood flow. But always make sure that you have like bandages, peroxide. Um, make sure that you don't put rubbing alcohol on any of the open wounds because that can cause tissue damage. Always have cold packs on you. Yes, you definitely want to have an ice pack on you. You definitely have a heat pack on you. Make sure that you actually have both instead of just one ice pack. So if somebody sprains their ankle, put an ice pack on for as long as they can stand it, and then switch that over from the ice pack to the heat pack. Therefore, that will also reduce swelling. And just another legal disclaimer, guys. No, I am not a licensed doctor, but I also have some medical skills as well. So if you guys want to know more about that, I can pretty much tell you what I can, some things what I know. I'm not saying that everything is going to be exactly pinpoint accurate, but it's close enough. It's basically close enough to where I could actually get somebody out of a very tight spot. Oh, and one more thing. If you need to move somebody, make sure that you have like make sure that you have something like a little bit of a hammock to where it's got like one side where you can slide a big stick down one side and then slide the stick down the other side, but you got the canvas in the middle. That's going to take two people to carry. That's going to take two people to lift one person up. But make sure that, that stick is solid. Make sure that it's not too flimsy. Because if it does flex, it's a possibility it could snap. And once it snaps, down goes the person that's injured, and you can actually do more damage to that person and may not even realize it. So always make sure that you have a stick that is long enough and strong enough to support their weight. Always have one person there to keep them calm, cool, and collect. Because if something happens and that person starts getting, I don't know what's the word for that, because there's a possibility that person could actually go into some type of shock. You always want to try to keep them awake and aware of what's going on. Let them know let them know what you're about to do before you do it. So they can try to work with you on that. I also stay in the woods before I know another thing. If anyone wants to know, I can help them with that. If they have questions. Fantastic. Absolutely. And see, this is basically what I'm talking about. If anybody has questions about this, if you guys have any specific questions, by all means, feel free to ask my moderators. If they have no idea how to answer your question, feel free to ask me, and I will try my best to answer your question the best of my knowledge. Because the last thing I definitely don't want to do is give misleading information. So I try to be very cautious about that. And so far, I'm actually doing a pretty good job of it. So, and sis, I definitely do appreciate that 110%. I do. I really do wholeheartedly. So I'm going to go ahead and pin this other comment that one of my moderators made up to the very top. So therefore, wait a minute. I hope that's the right one. Yes. So if by chance you guys happen to miss what she said, I do have that comment pinned to the very top, so you guys will actually be able to see what she said. And if you guys would like to interact with her on that behalf, feel free to do so as well. And the reason why I do these videos, it's not because it's just for me, it's for you guys. Up, definitely thank each and every single one of you for doing that as well. Also keep protection on you at all times. Exactly. Exactly right, sis. Always make sure that you have some type of protection on you as well. Even if it consists of having to bring a firearm, because you never know exactly what's out there lurking and what's out there just waiting to make an attack move on you. So always be sure to have some type of protection on you at all times. Always be alert. And if you hear sounds coming from a certain direction, veer your attention to that direction. Look around you. Like I said before, guys, keep your head on a swivel. That is the most vital part of camping. So therefore, you're well aware. So therefore, you're alert and you know exactly what's going on. So therefore, you'll be able to respond to that accordingly. But if an animal doesn't pose itself as a threat, don't bother with it. But if an animal is, in fact, posing a potential threat to you or your friends or loved ones or whoever you have with you out there while you're camping, make sure that they have protection as well. So, therefore, you guys can actually kind of out and about and you're too far from your campsite and you're safe for instance, if you're exactly 3.5 miles out and you guys are both tired, if you guys are sitting on the ground, lean up against each other, put your back towards them, put your head in. Now, how the rest of that plays out, I have no idea because I'm not familiar with everybody's sleep pattern and how they will basically respond during the time of their sleep. So I don't know. But like I said, hopefully that information there does in fact help you guys out. And that's a very good there's a very good comment that you made right there. So yes, I'm definitely going to replace also the other comment as well. Your newest comment. And thank you for the hearts, by the way. Huge shout out to my moderators. You guys are phenomenal. I definitely want to thank you guys for that. So always be sure that you have your eyes and ears out there. So stay sharp, stay frosty. Oh, and one more thing, guys. If you guys are ever if you ever do come across, I'm just saying this hypothetically, but just say, for instance, if you guys ever do come across something called the skinwalker, ignore it. And always make sure that you do make sure that the worst thing to do if you ever see a skinwalker is whistle. You don't ever want to whistle at a skinwalker because they are shapeshifters. And basically, where the term skinwalker comes from, it comes all the way back to the Navajo tribe. And a lot of things they will not tell you because a lot of that information is very sacred. So, I mean, skinwalkers can actually basically shapeshift into whatever pet that you've had in the past. And what they'll do is they'll try to gain your trust. Big no no. So if you know, because they can actually impersonate people that they can basically turn themselves into pets because a skinwalker is a very dark entity. And I'm sure if you talk to some people that are Navajo, they will basically tell you that it's something very evil. So I've done a little research with that too. And it probably wouldn't hurt that I do a lot more existential research. So, need excuse me. So if you need verification on that, you can even ask Dawn. I have actually sent her some videos, and she can pretty much tell you the same thing that I'm telling you. The worst thing that you ever want to do is whistle if you ever see a skinwalker, guys, because that will set them off, and that they'll right there will actually make them come after you. But if I happen to see another video like that out on social media, I will try to record it. I will basically try to download it, that content, and I will upload that to my OneDrive, and I will show a PDA on that as well. So if you guys want to know more about Skinwalker information, I don't have it linked in the description. I didn't realize that I was going to be getting a little off course and jumping onto this topic here. So my apologies for any inconveniences. But just to let you guys know, just to keep you guys safe, you never want to whistle at a skinwalker. So therefore, that protects you even more. So if you want to find out more information about that, there is some more stuff on YouTube and something and a lot more websites. And I would definitely urge you guys to check that information out. And whatever you do, I hope that you all do heed my warnings and take these very seriously, because the last thing I'd want someone to do is to not be safe or be protected. So just be very cautious if you ever happen to see a skinwalker. Just go the opposite direction. Don't pay it no, never mind. Just go about your business. But if it yells your name, just ignore it. Just try to get away from it as far as possible. just go the opposite direction and ignore it, and sooner or later, it'll probably just move on to another location. So if I ever happen to come across any more videos like that, I will definitely make sure that you are able to see the videos. You can actually download this app called OneDrive into your mobile device. And for those of you who have no idea what OneDrive is, OneDrive is a PC. It's basically all it is, just a cloud for PC for Windows. And I will show you exactly what that looks like, guys. So therefore, if you happen to see it, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm going to screenshot it, and I'm going to photo crop the video. I'm going to photo crop the picture, and I will put that on display for you guys to see. So just bear with me for a moment. All right. And I will try to basically bring this, I'll try to enlarge this to where you guys can actually see it very well. So I'm going to go ahead and delete one here. All right, so now I'm going to move my camera over this way, guys, so you'll be able to see exactly what the app looks like. This is it right here. This is also found on, I do believe you can also find this on iOS and Android as well, known as AOS. And it is also very compatible for your PC. So if you do actually happen to download that, you can actually upload videos to your computer from your device, and you do not have to hook nothing into your phone. You can send that directly to your computer just from your mobile phone. Fantastic. There's also something else out there called the Dogman. Something ever seen something like this? If you guys ever do encounter something like that, do not make the attempt to approach it. Get across it. And that is also one of my moderators. He can tell you about that as well. I was on the phone with him. As a matter of fact, I was on a video chat with him the night that happened. He said something about 8 foot tall, and I knew exactly what he was talking about. I sent him a photo of it. He looks at that, and he just the look on his face. Oh my God. The pigmentation of his face, just his facial pigmentation, he's completely white, guys. He took off running. And I've never, ever seen this man scared a day in my life. But he was literally scared. Shitless. I mean, that brought a whole new definition of the word fear to the table. I mean, that's literally how bad it was. He wouldn't even he would not even go back outside. And this buddy of mine, he's also a hunter. So he picked up his rifle and went out. He said he wasn't going to go out there without his rifle. I told him, I says, take cover. I says, get out of there and head back someplace safe and just sit there for a while. Sit there for a bit. Keep your ears open. Stay frosty, stay vigilant. And he took my advice. And when he went back to the shed, that next morning, he opened that door, he looked around, he didn't see anything. But as soon as I showed video, he says, what you just sent me a picture of, that's exactly what I saw. Matter of fact, it was that exact same one. So just to let you guys know, the tales that you've actually heard about the Dog Man is in fact 100% legitimate. You guys can find videos on YouTube about the Dog Man. There's even people doing interviews and putting their videos out there on YouTube. And there's even a book written about it. So if you guys want to see pictures of that, I can show you the pictures of that as well. So we're going to go to images. So hopefully, I'm not trying to scare anyone. Let me try to get my camera to focus. That's what it looks like, guys. Hope y'all can see that. Hang on a second. I'll open my camera back up again, or my footage. There are also videos of this, but no specific videos made of the actual Dogman. But there are documentaries of this. So like I said, guys, if you ever happen to see anything of what I just mentioned to you, Skinwalker or Dogman, do not, please, whatever you do, I do not suggest that you guys make an approach to that thing, because they are very, very, very dangerous. But if one does walk up on you, show it no fear. If it's staring right at you, stare right back at it. So then therefore, it knows you're not afraid of it. Because if you show it fear, it's gonna come find you. Even if you get away from it, it's still gonna track you down, and it's still gonna find you. So if something like that does happen, the worst thing that you'd want to show fear. You don't show it any fear, you're good. It's not going to bother you. Matter of fact, it'll just sit there and kind of tilt its head at you, kind of like this. It's so basically when they tilt their head like that, they're trying to figure you out. And you know how they say, if you're scared of something, stare. A wise man once quoted, "The only thing that you have to fear is fear itself." Dr. Martin Luther King. That's the guy who actually quoted that. If you ever do come across something like that, guys, show whatever it is, whatever entity is standing in front of you, show it that you're not afraid of it. It's going to leave you alone. Because if it can't figure you out, whatever it is, it's going to determine you as a threat to them. And that's going to scare them. So that's going to make them think, oh, wow, I'm twice this guy's size. I'm far much more dangerous than this person could ever be. Whoa. Let's take a step back, Jack. That's the thought that's going to be going through its head. That's because your body gives off pheromones. And your pheromones are through your sweat. Your pheromones will come. Those of you guys who don't know, if something is following you, that's because it's basically trace. So yes, that is absolutely true. Oh, hang on a second, guys. There we go. Somehow I just knocked down my chats, but I brought them back up. So yeah, always be sure if you ever see something like that, show it that you're not afraid of it. It'll leave you alone. It won't even make the attempt to chase you down because you're just basically going to put you're basically going to put them and basically smile. Wow, this person is not afraid of me. I'm just going to find the next. Basically, what that thing is potentially going to do. It doesn't matter if there's one of them. It doesn't matter if there's three of them. If there's three of them, watch all three of them. Show them you're not afraid of them. Because I've actually seen some videos. I've heard some stories. I've actually heard other people's documents. And a lot of this stuff is in fact documented, guys. If you want to look up some of that information, Google it or look it up on YouTube. Very interesting. So just by listening to other people's documentaries, you can learn a lot from that. There's YouTube videos, people explaining. Oh, excuse me. Not bad manners, just damn good coffee. But there are documentaries out there, and people do explain everything because they themselves have actually had encounters with those things, with those creatures. So if you listen to their documentary and you pay close attention to it, you'll know what to do if you ever encounter something like that. Hopefully you never do, but if you do, then you're ready for that occasion. So, and in the Appalachian Mountains, and the Appalachian Mountains is basically where your skinwalkers are. The worst time to be out there is at nighttime. I know. I've walked through there. I had a real bad feeling one night when I was walking down this highway that something was not too far from me. And I just had this eerie feeling. I says, I approached the car and he says, "Hey, where are you headed?" I says, "Well, I'm just passing through." He says, "Ben." He says, "This is loaded." It was a 22 caliber rifle. I believe it was 22. He said, "Sure, take time, but just check it before you down." I checked it. I seen the safety was engaged, so I sat down. So he kind of got me from one spot. He went down the road about at least a mile or two. He says, "I got to drop something off right quick." Pulls into the house where he lived at. He went in, dropped something off, came back out, dropped me off at the gas station, and that eerie feeling just it started to go away. But I literally had a funny feel. I literally had the feeling that something out there, what it was, I don't know, but something was in fact watching me. I wasn't a bit scared of it. I was alert. I was fully alert. But I'd also turn like this from time to time to see if I saw anything out of my peripheral vision. I was watching what was in front of me, what was beside me, and when I turned my head, I was also looking at what was behind me. But as soon as I seen those headlights, I got off to the side of the road by the guardrail around this curve going uphill. And that's where that guy picked me up. So if there's some people on here that have actually seen me about 7 years ago that has actually helped me through my journeys, I definitely want to give you guys a shout out here on the channel. And yes, I'm now a YouTuber. Uh, I started my YouTube video live streaming about a year ago, guys. So, and everything that I've been telling you is in fact real. Some people may sit there and kind of brush it off. They might just dismiss it. Nah, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. Well, I mean, that's fine. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. But when you see something like that up close and personal, that just brings a whole new alternative perspective to the way that you think. Wild dogs out and about. I wasn't scared of that either. Because anytime something comes up, something that's actually watching you, figure you out. I mean, there has been a couple times that there's been a dog that lunged at me. I moved out of the way. That dog just landed, tried to lunge at me again. I moved back the other way. The dog missed me both times. And there was a guy that come out to the curb or out to the road, and I told him, I says, "Hey," he says, "I am so sorry about this." I says, "Hey, I totally understand your dog's just doing his job." He says, "I wouldn't expect my dog to lunge at you like that." I says, "Well, with what I know, with my background and everything, I didn't want to hurt your dog. So I just moved out of the way, moved this way." And he says, "Wow." He says, "Yeah, I could tell that you actually do have a background of martial arts." I told him, I says, "Yeah, pretty much." So he told his dog to get in the yard and go up to the house. The guy came out, was very apologetic. I says, "Hey, I don't hold your dog accountable for that. Your dog's doing his job." He says, "You're not the only person that this dog has actually done that to." He says, "My dog doesn't normally act this way. Very few times my dog's ever done this." So we basically came to like a mutual understanding. I shook the guy's hand. I said, "Hey, no harm done. It's all good." I told him, I says, hey, I'm just passing through, minding my own business. Next thing I know, I seen this dog just barreling through the yard, just coming at me. Dog just tried to lunge at me, try to lunge again. After the second lunge, the dog missed. He thought he was going to lunge at me and try to bite me on the way through. The dog's like, that dog just kind of sat there, kind of turned around, looks at me, and moseys on up into the yard. So just never really had a problem. But there has been a couple times to where I actually jumped into a defensive stand and backed up because there was a couple dogs that was that was kind of coming at me. So I turned around, I turned around, I looked them right in the face. I watched every move they made. They did not. They're going to end up leaving back as if they pose you as a threat. But if you're just passing through, they'll come running up to you. They'll start barking at you, growling at you. They're not just going to attack you. Some do, some don't. So, but it's not all about a martial arts background. It's basically self observation. When you see a situation that doesn't look right, observe it. But always have a backup plan during the time of your with any type of interaction that you have with any animal, whatever it is or whatever it may be. Always have a backup plan. So, but my whole entire journey here to where I'm at now, it was amazing. I met a lot of cool people. So if you guys are ever out and about and you guys are taking a long trip and you're on foot, just be very observant. Use your peripheral vision because the average person's peripheral vision is 180 degrees. You can see what's in front of you. You can see what's beside you, this way and this way. Fantastic. It's it's really good to have viewers out here. So, so if something like this does in fact happen, just be just be more dominant to what you may have feared. Because what you fear today, tomorrow you may not fear ever again. Because the only thing to fear, a wise man once said, again, guys, the only thing to fear is fear itself. Dr. Martin Luther King. He's the one who actually quoted that. But let me kind of give you a little bit of an insight on this too. If you fear something long enough and you basically want to overcome that fear, stare what you fear most in the face and show whatever it is that you're scared of, you're no longer scared of it. And eventually that fear will shrink down small enough to where you can just walk all over it. That fear will become your carpet and you can just walk all over it at any given time that you want, basically. Dominate what you fear the most. Don't let it dominate you. So if you guys have any questions or anything pertaining to what I was talking about, guys, let's light up this chat. Light it up. Let me know what your thoughts are. Because I guarantee at the end of the day, guys, if you basically take what I'm saying are until you apply yourself, you know. And after that guy told me that, got me to thinking. I thought about that the whole entire day. Never knew what the guy said. Never knew exactly what he meant by that. And it's all over a drawing. He wanted me to repeat the drawing itself. I looked at that for a while. I sat there, looked at the paper that I was getting ready to draw on, or not paper, but paper towel. the old brown industrial paper towels. Anyway, I sat there and I looked at it for long enough. And before I knew it, I was actually drawing it. I've actually made a few specific modifications to that drawing because I didn't want it to look exactly like that. And so I looked at that. I looked at him. I looked back at that. I basically handed that to him, let him take a look at it. He says, wow. He hands it back to me. He says, you never know what your true potentials are until you apply yourself. I took that whole entire night to think about it. And that next day, I went back and he sat down right at the table I was sitting down at. I says, you know, I thought a lot about what you said. It just didn't dawn on me at first. I says, now come to think about it, I don't think there's I don't think you could have worded that possibly any better. But it took me a whole entire day to get a full understanding of what he meant. And as soon as I looked down at that that picture that I drew, it was phenomenal. It just brought me a whole new peace of mind and a whole new perspective. In case you guys don't know, I am also an artist. Matter of fact, I could show you some of the I could show you a drawing that show you some drawings that I've done a couple of years back. Hang on just a second. I just got to figure out what my app is. Okay. Okay, come on. Just got to figure out where this. Wait a minute. I don't know where to do this. I'll show you guys some of the drawings that I've done. I drew that one free-handed, but I uploaded this to my Instagram page. I did that all free-handed. I did not look at anything specific. Had no other backgrounds or anything. Here's another one that I did. I did this one too. I know some of the drawings, I know some of that might be a little off. But yes, all this was free-handed. I didn't do it. I didn't look at any pictures or nothing. And at one point in time, I almost got myself, I was basically like 2 pictures away from entering my drawings into an actual studio, guys. I was originally going to be selling my artwork. So yeah, I do a little bit of everything. I do pretty much a little bit of everything. So which one of those pictures were your favorite? Guys, if you guys had a favorite picture that you've actually seen, those two photos that you actually seen, which one you favor the most, leave it over here in the comments, and I will definitely be looking at that as well. So, and hopefully, guys, that does, in fact, hopefully all the information that I've given you is very helpful. Okay, so one said both. Did you get a chance to check those out yet, Tessa? Just out of curiosity. If not, I mean, I can pull them back up again. Okay, hang on a second. I'm going to go back through here and I'm going to pull those back up again. Okay. Come on, focus. Here's that one. I did that one free-handed. That's on my Instagram, guys. And also, I did this one free-handed as well. I didn't have nothing to look at. I did the shading. I did all that, all free-handed. So there you go. There's that one. And go back up to the other one again. The second one, fantastic. Oh, and a couple other things for you guys too. And a few of you already know that I actually do. A few of you know that I do cook for a veteran. I don't cook just regular meals. I cook basically gourmet. And basically what I'm about to show you is uh, this right here, guys. This is cranberry coleslaw. Very good. Dried cranberries. I mixed everything together myself. I didn't just I did in fact use mayo in this one, but you can also use Miracle Whip as well. I did that. I've also hand cut French fries. Did that myself. Black beans and rice with carrots. I was originally going to throw some sauteed onions in there with that, which is right here. I didn't just throw all that in together at once. I sauteed those myself. Hang on just a second, guys. I got some more photos up here as well. Boy. Tea. That's my. So right. Ooh, that was a store-bought pizza, but you guys can't really tell that one is actually store-bought. I did that myself. That was really, really, really good. This one here is cheese. Thank you for the wonderful, thank you for the kind words. I definitely do appreciate that. And also, guys, I did say something about that I actually met a user. This guy right here, if you go check out his videos, he's also a YouTuber as well. Video 33, he's also a YouTuber. I've also subscribed to his channel. But if you guys want to check out, you guys are welcome. Oh, and by the way, that was a that was a meat loaf I've actually baked, but I also used beer. So I'm basically going to call that my beer loaf. That was real tender, real juicy, excellent flavors. I've also did this right here. Chicken skillet with sauteed onions and some other things that I put in there as well. So I made wraps out of that too. Also with the white rice, stuff like that. Also did another version of that. That right there is a grilled cheese, but also actually that's a French toast style grilled cheese, guys, and that's sausage in the middle of that. Or Philly, it's like I think it's either sausage or Philly steak. But that right there was really good. And there's what it looked like before I put the bread on top of that. Actually, I think that was more like a Philly. It's more like a Philly steak. That was really good. And here's my other one. This one was done with Miracle Whip, guys. This one's really good. This is also the same thing that I made before. This is also the cranberry coleslaw that I made here. Now, breakfast dishes, I've also done those too. Different types of cheese. Actually, that's yeah. Cut beef with cheese, egg, and stuff like that. Actually, no, that's not beef. That's sausage. I'm sorry. Sausage, egg, and cheese all in one. That's what it looked like before I packed all that down. Toasted on both sides. All these pictures right here, I've uploaded all those to my Instagram page. I haven't uploaded anything recently. So if you guys do want to check this out, when you do happen to see the next picture, if you want to screenshot that, feel free to screenshot it as well. So then therefore you'll have my Instagram stuff online here. And these are my steak fries that I actually cut by hand, guys. I've actually cooked those myself. Those were really good. Barbecue chicken. That sauce right there in the corner. Oh, damn, I can't even say it today, guys. That sauce is homemade. I made that stuff myself. It's not store bought. That is actually it is. That I converted it together so that So spaghetti with mozzarella, I mixed all that together. This is before I mixed it. While it was nice and hot, I mixed all that in. This is what this is. This is a before on top, and the one down below it, that's an after. So I did all this myself. That was really good too. Now back to all the burgers and stuff that I made. Sauteed onions, double patty. You guys won't find nothing probably that thin in a restaurant or any fast food joint, but I did this myself. So here's another photo of it. And if you guys, I will go ahead and zoom in or bring my camera closer. If you guys want to find on my Instagram, here you go. That is my Instagram page. If you guys want to follow me there, you guys are more than welcome to do that as well. So this is my Instagram homepage. I'm like very rarely on this myself, but if you guys want to follow me there, have at it. Just to let you guys know, this account here, this is a private account. So if you guys do send me a friend request, I will check out your profile and I will follow you back. I do not do live. I don't live stream on my Instagram page, guys. So just kind of keep a heads up on that. So the only thing that I do live stream on is right here on my YouTube channel. So if you guys want to check, you guys are obviously here. So if you guys do see something that says, if you guys happen to see it says private account on there and requesting follow, I will, like I said, check your profile out. Just so if I know who you are, I will follow you back. So it may take, sometimes I'm not all the time on my Instagram. I'm not on here every day, probably at least maybe once, twice a week, if that. But if you guys want to follow that page, feel free to follow it. If I know who you are, I will definitely follow you back. So just kind of keep that in mind, guys. So, oh wow, holy shit. I've almost set another record, guys. So if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, hang on just a second. Something's going on with my cats here. I'm going to restore my chats. I'm going to move that to a different location. All right, guys, now that my chats is over here, if you guys do have any questions or concerns or anything that you would like to add to this live stream, like I said, my chats are open. They were on the left side of my screen, but now they're on the right side of my screen. Fantastic. Thank you very much. I greatly do appreciate it. Exactly what I do. I'm not a licensed gourmet chef, but I am a gourmet chef. So everything that you saw in the pictures and stuff, that's basically what I do. I actually cook for a Vietnam era vet. Huge shout out to all of our veterans too, by the way. You guys are phenomenal. You guys are the true heroes. I want to thank every single one of you for serving our country. I definitely do appreciate everything that you have done for us. Huge to each and single one of you. Much respect. And also for our United States Marines, Semper Fi, guys. Huge shout out to you guys as well. All branches of our military. Much love, much respect. You guys are outstanding. Once again, Semper Fi, guys. Also, for our Navy vets out here, fair winds, smooth sailing. You guys are also awesome as well. All you guys that have served in our United States military, no matter what branch you served in, much love, much respect. My salute to each and every single one of you. Semper Fi. But anyway, I think this is pretty much going to wrap everything up for the night, guys. I definitely want to thank each and every single one of you for coming to hang out here on the channel. And like I said, if you guys are new to my channel, haven't yet subscribed, go ahead and get subscribed to my channel. Turn on your bell notifications, so therefore you won't miss news here on the channel as well. And you will always be updated after the fact that you turn on your bell notifications. Please don't forget to turn on your bell notifications. Today's live stream is Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays from 8 o'clock p.m. to 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm out here on the East Coast. But anyway, guys, I hope you all enjoyed this video. I definitely want to give each and every single one of you a big shout out. So you guys have been awesome. Again, guys, thank you guys again for coming to hang out. And as always, stay safe, stay sharp, stay frosty, and stay vigilant. Until then, thank you all for watching. I'll see you guys on the next one. Thank you for the hearts, by the way. Oh, and huge shout out to you, sis, as well. Thank you for the hearts, by the way. And I'll see you guys again on the next one. This coming Tuesday, guys.